Welcome back. Let's get right to Democratic Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, who is on the Judiciary Committee, was part of today's hearing. Senator Whitehouse, welcome back. Let me ask this. What do you think the public got out of today's hearing?
Well, I hope the first thing that they got was that a lot of the lies and spin that have been thrown at the FBI simply weren't true. The idea
Are
that...
you confident that they got that?
I can't speak for the public, but certainly the evidence was there from which to get that. The claim that Obama wiretapped the president through the FBI, no, blown up. The claim that there's a deep state conspiracy that is going after him, no, wrong, blown up. The complaint that this was all started with the Steele dossier and that it was funded by the Clinton campaign, no, blown up. So I think those are the key pieces. I think people can have some assurance that the FBI actually, by and large, went about doing a pretty responsible job in a very difficult situation in which, for the first time, you had a counterintelligence investigation that had to be run into a presidential campaign because of the conduct of Mike Flynn and Carter Page and others.
What are the lessons learned for you to say, okay, at the end of the day, it's clear this was an unusual circumstance. Everybody was in an unusual position. Frankly, there was concern that the person you had warned that they're going to be targeted for infiltration might have actually been somebody who was participating in the scheme. I'm referring to their campaign manager at the time.
Yep.
So what did you learn from Mr. Horowitz to say, you know what? Maybe when it comes to presidential campaigns, we've got to do X. That's different from any other entity we deal with in government. Do you see anything there?
I think the thing that you have to be careful of is separating the support duties to a candidate and to a president, particularly things like intelligence briefings, from investigative matters. And a great deal was made in the hearing today of the fact that the FBI agent in the Trump intelligence briefing was actually there as an investigator. And that was a lot of fuss, but really not about much, because I think Horowitz and everybody agrees that when the FBI goes into a briefing like that, and there is evidence leading the FBI to conclude that people present in that briefing might actually be part of a counterintelligence conspiracy, then at least the FBI agent in the briefing needs to be debriefed afterwards, that evidence that might be gathered from that meeting can't just evaporate. And I think we need to make sure we get that right as we set the rules going forward.
Are you concerned? You know, it's funny, we talk about the word bias, and it's always just used in a political context. There is such thing as prosecutorial bias, confirmation bias. It happens, right? You have blinders on. Are you concerned that that is what happened with Carter Page, that there might have been a little bit of, this is not about, that basically prosecutor, well, Jesus, this guy, something's fishy here. We better not give this up. We don't know.
Yeah, I think in any case, setting aside President Trump, setting aside this particular investigation, in any case, once the investigative agents get invested in the case proceeding, there comes a bias to protect the case. And you can see that in a whole variety of circumstances. I suspect that that was the motivation here, that until they understood what was going on, they wanted to maintain their surveillance and try to understand, was there an American national security risk we need to know about? Remember, this is the same FBI that missed the 9/11 attack. So they're very sensitive to trying to make sure that in a national security context, they lean forward and they do their job as aggressively and thoroughly as they can, so they're not having to explain why they missed something. And I think that combination is what happened here. But the idea that there is a anti-Trump deep state conspiracy lurking in the FBI, I think is just nonsense, and was proven to be just nonsense by Michael Horowitz, the Inspector General.
Do you think that the Attorney General's decision to characterize his take on this Inspector General's report before he had a chance to present it publicly was appropriate?
Well, it rings back to the presentation of the Mueller report, which the Attorney General also got out in front of and also provided administration spin on before the public had a chance to review the report. I can't explain what is going on with Attorney General Barr. He came to the Senate for confirmation on a very strong case that he was above politics. He didn't need this. All he wanted to do was get in there and do the right thing. And I don't think I've ever seen a more politicized attorney general since Ed Meese. And Ed Meese ended up convicted.
Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, Democrat from Rhode Island, somebody who doesn't mince words. Thanks for coming on and sharing your views, sir. I appreciate it.
Good to be with you, Todd. Take care.